Are we live? All right. Hi, everyone. I hope you can see and hear me clearly. You're welcome to the second YouTube live I have done this year. I'm trying to do new things, bold things, like I've been asking a number of you to do this year. And so this is me showing up. It took us a while to start this because I wanted you to get the best sound. I wanted you to hear every single word, single syllable. So I'm hoping that this would be a good conversation. If you're just joining, my name is Maukeni Ribeiro. If you follow me on the internet, you probably know me as Kenny. And this session is for us to answer all sorts of questions that you may have about visibility, about influence, about growing a personal brand. So tonight, I'm literally at your service. Anything you want to know about, anything you perhaps you've seen a certain episode of 25 Ways and thought to yourself, I want a little more clarification on this, or I'm not sure how this applies to me. I hear you say this, but I'm an introvert. What am I supposed to do? Or something really bad happened at work. How do I come back from it? All those kind of questions that you think when you watch the videos, but have never really said anything about. This is your chance to ask me about those questions, and I will happily answer. But before we get into this, if you know me a little, I'm very big on community. So I would like to know who is in the comment section, where you're watching from, tell me something, what you ate for dinner. I don't know, something. Just let's have a chat. I have a feeling it will help us to get to know each other a bit more. I do have some questions that people have sent to me in advance, so I'll start with those. But by all means, please feel free to drop your questions in the comment section and tell someone who told you that they would be watching this that we're live, and so they should join. In fact, I'm going to do the same thing now. I'm going to tell someone we're live so that they can join and have a good conversation with us. So this is your chance. You can take a picture of my face. I've I've suffered a lot for tonight's to happen. So I may look tired, but I'm really excited about this. So please send a message to someone, tell them we're live, tell them to send in their questions, and we will probably have a really good conversation. Okay, so I see there is Nanayao from Tema. Hi, Nanayao. I used to live in Tema when I was a teenager. I have some very good memories from Tema. So it's good to have you on. I think I've even seen you on Instagram as well before. So it's good to have you here. Joyce, watching from Kumasi, and you're having yam for dinner. I had yam for dinner as well. Fried yam, but I'm sure you are talking about boiled yam, but I had fried yam with chicken wings and pineapple juice. So I'm feeling really good. Hopefully, I have enough energy to carry us through. So please drop your details, who you are, where you're coming from, what you had for dinner, etc. Can you living here 20s as usual? Yes, yes, yes. I know that the people want me to accept that I'm a 30 something year old woman, but I'll forever be young. I will truly forever be young. Anyone else? Anybody else? Otherwise, I am busily telling people that we're on. We're live. We're live. Yeah. Okay. So while we wait for, oh, I see my celeb from Nigeria. I have a very big man in the audience tonight. Interestingly, he's one of the people that motivated me to start the 25 Ways series. I used to watch his content. You should check him out. He does content around corporate life. So the things that you think about, anything concerning work, you say it's for you. Whether it's your salary delaying or HR annoying you or that work colleague that is always doing something. That's Mr. Richards. And I used to see how he put out serialized content, and I thought to myself, that's something I should probably do. And so we became buddies. So yes, it's good to have you here today. Um, Someone is asking where Reagan is. Reagan is sitting in the room with me. That's the reason why you can't see him online. He's seated here with me. All right. So I think we have a number of people have said their highs. If you have told people that we are live, then we can get right into the conversation. I am quite excited. Anyway, so I don't know how many of the 25 ways videos you have watched. And by the way, I'd like to say a premature shout out to the person who video recorded, edited, and puts the captions to every one of those 25 videos. For some of them, we recorded them 3 times, one episode 3 times, yes, because perfection was a thing. So I'm happy to have all of you here. We've done 18 episodes so far. There are 7 episodes left, and because I'm dramatic, I'm ending this with a digital course, which I'll tell you a little about and getting to the end of our conversation. Hi, Sylvia, you're welcome. It's good to see you. On that note, I will go into my very first question. How do I get noticed without feeling like I'm showing off? Um, I know that for most of us, we think about showing up and think I have to be extroverted or I have to be the kind of person who is super confident before I can talk about anything that shows my competence. But I'm sure you saw in one of the episodes that I said that visibility is leverage. The fact that people can see you and know that you exist usually gives you a certain upper hand over people. The reason why you are joining me on this Thursday night instead of sitting in your home doing maybe scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or eating your yam or whatever it is because I have made myself visible to you. So you think this is worth your time, and that's why you're here. But the truth is, the African tendency to feel like I'm showing off. People will think I'm doing too much. My boss is not on social media. Why am I coming to post what we did for the projects? My boss has not posted. Why should I be the one? Um, if you think about it that way, the truth is you never start. I have 1,000 reasons why I shouldn't be sitting here talking to you. Trust me, if I list them, you say, "Oh wow," but I have chosen to make myself visible because I have to position myself for the opportunities I want to come to me. And if I don't do that, I will have to deal with whatever life hands to me, whatever your boss hands to you, whatever one random opportunity or the other hands to you. And you can do that. You can stay quiet, you can stay invisible, but that will always limit you. You will always be at the mercy of someone's ability to remember you, or someone's, oh, give me your CV, I can put it here, or someone's, oh, you can be on this radio show. But if you're visible, you have a way of calling the shots to a certain extent. So, how can you do that? Start with where you are. Don't try and reinvent the wheel in any way. What is in your hand at the moment? What are you good at? What can you speak to? Are there certain wins that you have? Is it your alumni network you can leverage? What's there happening in your workplace? Is there an industry association you can connect to? Maybe you're a chartered accountant. Is there an institute of chartered accountants that you can connect with? Can you use something they're doing there to make yourself 1% more visible? It doesn't have to be on YouTube. Hi, my name is Maukeni Ribeiro. No, even I didn't start by doing that. It takes one little thing at a time. When I started posting on social media, I wasn't showing my face. I would type something and paste it in my stories, and that would be the end of it. Or sometimes I'll go and design something in Canva and put a song to it, and that will be the end of it. But eventually, I started showing my face, and today I'm sitting live talking to people I cannot see, but I'm chatting with you like you're all in the room with me because I had to start with what I had, and then slowly build from there. So if you are thinking about how to start the visibility journey, start where you are, wherever it is. Okay, I just know how to dress really nicely for work. Start with that. or I have always done well when it comes to appraisals. Start with that. It's not everyone that has those things coming naturally to them. So start with the things that you have and look for a low entry point. It can be a short post on LinkedIn. It can be a random something is trending and you decide to say something about it. When I started talking about politics in this country, a lot of people used to say, why are you talking about politics? What do you want to do? But one day I want to influence public policy across the continent. And I have to do that by talking about where I am. So even if food soldiers will insult me, I'm happy to start. Because then as I start small, I'll get to the point where I'd have built enough leverage to be able to contribute to public policy conversations across the continent. So start where you are. I tweeted about our president's conversation at the UN General Assembly just before I joined this live. Not because I am multitasking in any way. It's just because that's a relevant conversation and it's an opportunity for me to add my voice to that conversation. So I did. I'm sure he doesn't even know I exist. But one day I would have built enough momentum to be able to contribute to public policy conversations. And that's why I talk about politics. So start where you are. You don't have to have everything laid out, but incrementally just put in the effort and that would work. I can see Atukwe in the comment section. He said armed forces. Fun fact, I did that afraid. So for those who are thinking I must be very confident calling out the armed forces of Ghana for doing something, I do it scared. Um, just by starting where you're, the thing is, what am I saying? Is what I'm saying true? Is what I'm saying relevant to the conversation? I'm not insulting anybody. Yes, I'm a little scared, but I posted a video. Nothing happened to me yet. And so we're here. Do it scared. Do it scared. We'll all be fine. I think the last thing I wanted to say about this question was don't look at how many likes you get and say, well, I posted this thing about climate change and only two people liked it. Doesn't matter. I'm sure you know that you look at a lot more things than you press the like button for. But it doesn't mean that the things are not registering in your head. You may look at it and think, who is this person? And just scroll. But the next day you're looking for someone in that category, chances are that your memory will call up that person because they are consistently showing up. Too many of us start with, I posted something and no one minded me. So forget it. I'm ghosting for 3 months. And that's easy to do. That's the natural thing to do. But after 3 months, you'd realize that the world has moved on. And if you had kept posting over the 3 month period, one, you'd have overcome the discomfort that comes with doing it. And two, people would have started to take notice because consistency is key. Let me give you another example. When I started doing the 25 ways series, all I thought was, I am doing something that will get my name and my face in the minds of the people that I want to work with. But today I meet strangers and they walk up to me and say, hi, I'm Maukeni Ribeiro and you're watching 25 Ways to Get Seen. Consistency has put me in their head so much so that they are repeating my lines back to me. And I haven't even posted all 25 of them. So imagine what kind of opportunities and um, doors you are leaving closed simply because I didn't see a lot of likes. No, I didn't see a lot of traction. So it's okay. People are watching, they are paying attention. I can tell you for free. Even you don't like everything you look at, but it's still in your head. So don't look at who's liking and who's commenting. There are always people who are noticing. There are decision makers, there are people who can collaborate with you, there are people in the media who are quietly watching you build. And when it gets to the point where an opportunity shows up, you will definitely be in their heads. So that's the first thing that I wanted to say. Is there anyone else with another question, or should I move on to the question that I have? All right. Okay. Oh, there are 28 of you now. Hi to everyone who's just joined us. Please feel free to leave your questions in the comment section. So the second question I have is, what makes a personal brand stand out in a crowded field? I'm always saying that everyone has a personal brand, but I would say there are three ways that you can stand out. One, clarity. What's your message? Stick to that message. What do people know you for? I just told you that I know Mr. Richards for creating funny, relatable content about the corporate world. If he had just posted once or twice, that would be the end of the story. But you can go and look at his socials. He's posted hundreds of videos. And so now people use his audios for their own work life content. And if he didn't start and he wasn't clear about what he wanted to do, I want to create relatable content for the people in the corporate world. And there are lots of people in the corporate world. So that's clarity. He had a message and he stuck to it. Consistency. Show up with tone, with value, with vision, with visuals. I don't know if you've noticed that every time I do a YouTube something, I'm usually seated with my laptop on the desk, a book in front of me, and a white background. Even that is being deliberate about consistency so that you can relate to it. If it's not that, then I'm sitting in a studio doing 25 ways, or I'm sitting in my car talking to you about taking a headshot. I try to make sure that you can predict that it will be a certain kind of tone, it will be a certain kind of visual, you walk away with a certain kind of value. That's how I'm building the brand for this kind of thought leadership. So be clear, be consistent, and make a connection. Tell stories that resonate. Everybody remembers a great movie or a great person because of how they're able to tell a story. I'm sure we all have that chemistry teacher who we loved because they'll come and stand in front of you and spend like 30 minutes of their session talking about stories from their old days and things like that. You love them because these are nice stories you can relate to. It's an escape from the chemistry you don't want to study. It's the same principle. Use whatever it is to find ways to connect to your audience. So, are you a mom? What are the things about being a mom that your audience can connect to? Are you a 9 to 5er? What are the things that people can connect to? Are you what should I call it? A first time PhD student in Czechoslovakia? That's something you can connect to. That's your thing. Start creating connections around that content. Even if no one is in Czechoslovakia with you, there are people who are outside Ghana who are missing home, or outside their home country who are missing home. That can be a form of connection because they can relate to whatever it is that you are saying. So, by all means, those three things: clarity, consistency, connection. It's really not about your logo. It's not. Yes, I know I'm a big logo person. If you followed me, you know I have a logo for everything. I have a logo for the three different YouTube shows I have. I have a logo for my consultancy. I have a logo for myself. I have a logo for my website. Yes, I'm big on logos, but that's not what makes the brand a brand. Because if you strip away the logos, people should be able to say this is what Kenny does, or this is what let me look for someone in the comment section. This is what Kojo Mufasa does. This is what Aubrey does. We should be able to find that thing because you've been clear about it. We should be able to we should be able to rely on you. If you say you are going to be showing up once a month and then you ghost us for 4 months, it's not giving consistency. We'll move on. And by the time you come, we've found other people to follow. And yeah, so be clear, be consistent, and create connections. I find that that's a very great way to grow your personal brand because people will always at any point Kojo, yes, I mentioned your name. This is what people are going to be doing in the comment section. So people will always be paying attention, and once they notice what they can connect you with, then you'd realize that yes, I'm building something. Last year, I discovered that all the public policy talk I had been doing was not falling on deaf ears because at a certain point, the president had just done his acceptance speech, and three different people at the same time tweeted at me to ask me what I thought about what the president of the republic had to say. And I was like, yeah, it's working. Because Really, who am I? But clearly, I've spoken about it long enough for people to come and associate it with me. And whatever I've said is giving enough value for them to think, I want to hear what she has to say. So that's my tip on how to definitely build a personal brand. If you are thinking, okay, that's all nice and good, but I really don't know where to start, think about yourself. If someone had to say, what should we expect when we encounter you, whether it's online or in person or virtually or something you have worked on? For me, I'm hoping that anyone who has a conversation with me about their brand will leave with a certain perspective on how they can grow visibility or awareness or influence. I'm hoping that that's what you encounter. I'm also hoping that you'd understand that I like to ask governments questions regardless of who's in power. I'm also hoping that you will, if you're looking for someone to have a Jesus conversation with, you will have that kind of conversation with me. That's the kind of brand that I'm building. It may not fully translate at all times to all people, but actively building it, eventually, that's what people will come to say. Um, One thing I have to say though is it's important to be authentic. We all have that feeling where you wear clothes that don't sit well on you or a shoe that doesn't quite fit. And the only reason why it doesn't fit or um it doesn't sit well is because it's not for you. And that's how I want you to think about it. You can very well copy somebody else's style. You can also decide tomorrow that you want to do 50 ways to grow a business or 100 ways to cook jollof, by all means. But it has to feel like you. If it doesn't feel like you, after a while, people will start to, "Hmm, there's a disconnect," and you don't want that. So be authentic, be as authentic as possible. You shouldn't have anyone watching your video who knows you in real life and saying, "Hey, so you know all this." You shouldn't have people saying that because the encounter with you in person is very different from what you have put out online. So that would be my last take. Definitely make sure that authenticity is a big thing. Everyone has a unique value proposition. You have something that makes you you. So lean into that. There are thousands of PR professionals here in Ghana, but I have chosen to make my thing talking about personal branding, talking about civic engagement. That's my lane. There are others who I'm sure are talking about other things, but this is my lane. So find your unique positioning and hammer down on that. Um, the most important thing to notice, it's an ongoing process. You will never get to the point where you feel like fully built, done. You're constantly refining, constantly going. So don't give up if you don't like what it is at the point. Just keep working at it, and eventually you'll get closer to what you have in your mind when you picture your personal brand. Do we have any other questions? Yes, the glasses are off. The glasses are off. You guys should get used to seeing the glasses a lot more. No glasses, Kenny will be coming more often. It's easy to stand out because people aren't really doing what they are doing. That's true. People are not really. Yeah, that's true. If you show up and you consistently show up, then it starts to look like, oh, it's actually working. Um, I see some questions, but let me just keep going through the comments, then I'll come back to the questions. 12 ways to host a podcast. We'll be waiting for Reagan to post his. Um, Someone says it's relatable stories that stick. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So on that note, I'll go into some of the questions I see here. Some of my bosses and colleagues see me as hardworking, and my boss often assigns me challenging tasks, but I feel overlooked for travel and opportunities which go to others. This is one of my favorite topics in life. So if your boss sees you as hardworking and reliable, that's a great thing. But you need to ask yourself, what makes people travel and get recognized? It's not just your boss who's going to be able to refer you as go and travel or go and do this or go and do that. For most of us, we don't chronicle the journey. We don't tell our stories. So you've worked on something, you've been given something that's outside your scope of work. Once you do it and you have it done, have you posted on LinkedIn about it to say, I'm happy to say that I've done this and done that? I know that LinkedIn gets a bad rap, but you will be amazed at the people who are watching. I have connected with CEOs in Asia who simply off of things I was posting here in Ghana, because at that time I was working in insurance and they were also in the insurance industry. So tell that story because you never know who's watching. And sometimes by telling the story, documenting those wins, you find that even your boss begins to value you more because he can see you articulating the value. It's one thing to take it for granted because if you give it to Vera, she'll do it, it will be done. But if you start documenting the process, so yes, they asked you to do X, you did this in a short amount of time. They asked you to do Y, you were able to execute this. They asked you to do this is what the feedback was. You document all of that. One, it helps you when it's time for appraisals. Two, even in the industry, in your company, in your industry, it makes you a valuable employee. It makes you, for want of a better word, prime real estate because people are always looking for people who can deliver on work. So if your boss sees that even you are positioning yourself as someone who recognizes her value, he will also treat you as valuable. There are these stories where people say, if you go to like a market or Kantamanto, if you're from Ghana, and you pick up something and you look at it and you're like, okay, I don't really know if I like it, and you put it down and you pick something else. And someone else comes and picks the same thing and starts to look at it like, oh, this is really great. I want to buy it. You start to ask yourself, have I missed something? Is that an opportunity I'm missing? Did I not look at it well? That's just human psychology. So sometimes even the people who are in your space may be taking you for granted because other people are not sniffing around you. But people won't sniff around you if you're not telling the story. So document the story, speak up. If you want to put your hand up for travel, say, hi, I'd like to also travel for this opportunity. I'd like to volunteer for this or that. Speak up. If that doesn't happen, then start taking a look at the people who are traveling and people who are getting the opportunities. Is that something they are doing that you are not doing? Sometimes it could be that you are reliable, but it's simply as a matter of how you dress, how you put yourself together, because they are sending the person to represent the company and they're thinking, can she do it? I'm not sure. So sometimes just pay attention to that. It could be a knowledge gap you need to close. And then for other people, it could also just be maybe it's just time to look elsewhere. But you can only do that if you're documenting your wins, if you're telling your story. That's how you become premium goods for want of a better word. um I hope that answered your question, but if it didn't, please let me know. The next question I saw was how about dealing with being perfect before you start, with your strength being attention to detail? If there's anyone who struggles with perfection, it's me. Me, me, me. But I have learned that the world won't wait for me while I look at wanting things to be perfect. I have also learned to hone that art of perfection and say that I will make it look a certain way or I'll make it sound a certain way. And by all means, that will be part of the value I give you. So, yes, there's room for you to pull that along and give you that upper hand because not as many people pay that much attention to detail. So, that could be your upper hand. But don't let that be the thing that stops you. Because if I had my own way, I'd have like a full on studio with like, there'll even be space for like an audience to sit with me and like chat with me and stuff like that. I don't have that, but I can't wait for that to start. If I had my own way, I would have like my own space where we can do like live classes and master classes before I'm ready to start. But I can't do that. So now we're doing an online chat. It's start with what you have. I think I said that at the beginning. It can just be your phone. Let that be enough. Start with that and make the most of that. And then it will give you other opportunities. When I started writing stories on Facebook 13, 14 years ago. Yes, I'm subtly showing you my age, but it doesn't matter. When I started writing stories on Facebook back then, I just had a WordPress blog and I would write and I would post. And WordPress, if you don't have the paid version, it's very it's given basic. Yeah, but I was doing it. I was showing up every day. I would engage in the comment section. I would do everything. And then one day, one of my readers said, I'll pay for your domain name for you. At that time, it was kenikuju.com. He paid for it for like 4 years straight because I had been consistently showing up. So start with what you have. The perfection will augment whatever it is, but don't let that stop you from starting. Don't let that stop you from starting, because the truth is, even tonight, I was sad that we didn't start at 6:30. You should have heard me saying, why? There are people waiting and we have not started and we have not done this. That's me. Because I would drag my mama if he kept us waiting. So I don't want to be dragged. I wanted to start. But start with what you have. Make the most of what you have. It always opens the door for the things that you actually want to do. It gets you closer to those. So by all means, please start. Um, do we have any other questions? Any other questions? What book or resource would you recommend getting better at chronicling your journey and keeping track, especially as a career professional? All right. First of all, I think I said this in my last live. I don't like giving people books and YouTube links to go and watch, because what I find is most of the time they'll watch whatever it is or they'll read the book and then use that as an excuse to delay, because like I've not finished reading the book, or what did they say? I'm making notes so that when I'm ready I'll start. If you want to chronicle your journey as a young professional, all you need is an Excel sheet. An Excel sheet. Just an Excel sheet. It can even be a book like this one. But I say an Excel sheet because then you can populate it online. So just take it and write the date every day or at the end of every week. Something that went well, as many things that went well, something that you struggled with, an opportunity for you to grow, something you want to maybe continuous learning, something you want to include, and populate it every week. That's it. That's it. Because you see, the truth is, it's very easy for us to do something great and then 3 months later we've forgotten that we've done it. That's how most of us go and sit in an appraisal and maybe your boss says you weren't a team player, but you don't remember that 3 months ago you helped the IT guy to figure out something and something and something, and you worked with the comms team to roll out something and something and something. You've forgotten because you're not tracking. So track every day if you can. At the end of every day, this is what happened today, or at the end of every week, this is what happened. Just track it. I find that just chronicling that alone will keep you accountable. You want to have something to write. So you start thinking, what can I do this week? That's how I've done a lot of things for the consultancy that I'm running. I'm very scared in this consultancy journey, but I have goals that I need to meet. And I also owe it to my community to build in public. So that is why every month I come to you guys and I say, this is my down. This is what I've been up to. This is where I spoke. This is what I did. It keeps me accountable to you, but it also shows me that I'm growing. So definitely track it every month. If you don't want to use a book, you can use the notes app on your phone or whatever it is, by all means. But track it. If you don't track it, before you realize, months have gone by and you can't speak to the work that you've done. Even if you don't need it for an appraisal, you need it if you are applying for a new role. You need it if you're applying for a master's because you have to show relevant experience. You will need it for something. So just track it by all means. Just an Excel sheet, a book, right? Every single day. Something I did that went well, something that didn't go well, an opportunity for me to grow, some sort of resource I want to learn from, maybe a lesson I've learned that week, and just keep populating. After 52 weeks, you'd be amazed at the growth, even the way you are thinking, the things that come up, it helps you to see, I really have a problem with people management because last month I had this problem, I have the same problem. Then it gives you a window for you to improve upon yourself. So that's what I will say. A wise man once said, if you are drowning, yell for help. Hey, but I thought we go on to perfection. Yes, we do, but you have to start before you can go. So please start. So please start. Auntie Kenny. People, do I look like an auntie? I'm entering my era of baby girl Kenny. So please. We are taking contributions for studios for Kenny. I agree. But while you're at it, please include my GLE 450. That's really what I need a contribution for. So if you are giving contributions, that will be for that. Yes, clarity comes with motion. There are 37 of you on here, and I've been talking for 35 minutes. Are there any other questions before I move to the rest that I have? Just to make sure that you are getting your questions answered. I think someone on my Instagram channel asked a question. So yes, if you're not on my Instagram channel, you're missing out on the fun. Please drop your question. I will answer it happily and gladly. Yes, I did have a question here. Oh wow, there are a lot of questions. Okay, so this is your sign to join my Instagram channel. We are cool people. The name is Creatives. You see it at the beneath my name on Instagram. We are about almost 700. We are 3 people short of 700 people. We are fun. So join us. Join us and let's have fun. All right. So let me go into the questions. How do you deal with the anxious thoughts of that creep in when you're offered a new project or job? Then there's another one that says, okay, let me just take these one at a time. How do you deal with the anxious thoughts? I did a video about this. Um, the truth is, we are never going to get to a point where a part of us is not wondering, am I doing this well enough? Does this make sense? What is someone else going to think? I'm so scared I'm going to fail at this. Is this even worth it? What if I never achieve what I say I want to achieve? I think they are part of human nature. Our need to please, our need to work at things. That's part of human nature. But I like to say I can't let that win. So I recorded a video for my community and I said I was nervous about this live. And someone said, how can you be nervous? Because even my picture looks like a superwoman who's not afraid of anything. But I am. I ask myself questions. Will they find value when they come? Will it be a good opportunity? I'm always asking myself questions. But the important thing is to show up in spite of the fear, in spite of the anxiety, so that you will get things done. Because it's very easy to say, I'm scared, I'll try again next year. That's what you said last year, and that's what you will say next year. But if you decide to just do it, yes, people will say, look at what she's doing. Don't we know her? Isn't this what she did? Show up in spite of the fear, in spite of the question. It won't go away. I will tell you the truth, but it's the volume just gets turned down a notch. And the more you keep showing up, you realize that you get to the point where, yes, now it just feels like an uncomfortable feeling at the back somewhere, but it's not dominating your life. But if you don't move in spite of whatever it is, you will never get you never be able to handle that same thing that you know you should be able to handle. So that's my take on handling anxious thoughts. Also, I find that it's a good way to actually build the brand. I'm doing it scared. I'm doing it anxious. I'm an introvert, but I have to speak. There are other introverts that could actually be your way of connecting to people. That could be your story. So by all means, hone into whatever it is and pull the stories from that and use that to build your personal brand. Hi, I love your work. Do you take on mentees? Wow. Thank you for loving my work. I don't take on mentees at this point, but I do open up opportunities to work with people from time to time. So if, for instance, I'm doing a certain project and I need some help, I do ask for people to help. And as a result of that, I do provide some sort of direct mentorship depending on whatever it is you're working on. So it's not structured yet, but something like that happens. Um, the next question is, I'm shy when someone sees my work or posts on LinkedIn. I feel like they are laughing at me, honestly. Let me tell you something. even CEOs, even CEOs, when they're posting on LinkedIn, they're second guessing. Is what I'm saying relevant? Is what I'm saying true? Is does it make sense? Does my picture make me look funny? So it's okay to have that. Okay, I want to come correct, but don't let that stop you. The very first time I did a LinkedIn, an Instagram live here, I was sweating, I was nervous, I was scared. But today I've done a number of videos on LinkedIn, I've done a number of videos on YouTube. So I'm a lot more confident in front of the camera. And I'm sure you won't even believe that there was ever a time where I was shaking and scared. So keep going. And as you keep going, it will, just like how you learned how to walk or how you learned how to drive if you are someone who drives, or you learned how to do the things that initially were a little difficult. Your body will learn along with you as you keep doing the things. But if you stop, you'd have to restart. It's like when you go to the gym and then you stop going for a while and you go the first few times. It's like your body is punishing you for all the times you missed out and you have to start afresh. Think of it that way. Don't stop posting. It may feel like nobody is looking at it, but people are paying attention. People are are noting, they are keeping it in their heads. I told you that no one collaborates with, no one recommends, no one nominates someone that is not visible. So you showing up is a sign. People will take notice. The people who are laughing are exactly the people whose opinions don't count because most of the time they don't have an opportunity to offer you. And to be honest, some of them are actually nervous. They can't do what you're doing. And so the laughter is their way of trying to come and join me in my inaction. So by all means, keep posting. It will get better. As you keep interacting, as you keep doing sharing value, it does get better. How do you practically move from seen to paid? Well, shameless plug. You'll get that full breakdown in the course that will go live in October. But I can give you a very practical tip today. Move straight to the point of showing value. Because if you show value, then people would say, I want to pay for this, or I want to work on this with you, or I want to collaborate with you on this. It's value. That's the baseline. The only reason why I can today put a link and say I have what's it called, a course and you should come and pay for it is because I've been talking about personal branding for the last 2 years. And in the last year or so, I've dialed it up a bit. I've had an event and now I'm doing a series that is being followed across the world. I had to start from a certain point to not say, I'm just talking about go and take your headshots. For those of you who started at the very beginning, that was my thing. Why are you having to take in a headshot? What kind of picture is this? What kind of bio is this? That was me. Then I moved on to how can you actually build your brand beyond the headshots? This is what you can do. This is what you shouldn't do. This is where you should stop. Then I actually started critiquing people's brands in public. I'll take politicians, talk about them, take business owners, talk about them. All that was really from a place of, I want you to see that I have value to give. So if you're thinking, how do I translate that? Okay, you're a brand person. How do I translate that into something I am doing? You're a photographer who feels like I get money from doing XYZ. How do I make that a thing? For all you know, there are people who in the photography world who need to figure out how to do coloring the way you do it. Or there are people who need to understand how they can use their basic equipment to do XYZ. So give value. Show them that you know what you're doing and you can do it a certain way. Then people would say, oh, if you want someone to teach you coloring, it has to be X, it has to be Y. They can only say that if you are showing up with the value consistently. If you don't do that, yes, Atukwe, I'm talking to you direct. Actually, I didn't even know that you were still here, but yes, direct shots. Let me look in the camera. Direct shots. Please start posting, giving value. That way, if you say, I want to host a once and for all masterclass, come and sit and let's have a conversation. They will come and listen to you. They will pay money for it. If you say, I am a PhD student who has done this, what's it called? Tracking tool, because I've used that to track my knowledge and my readings and my learnings over the last 1 year. I'm selling it on Notion for $2. People will buy it because you've been actively documenting how you are using that tool to make your life easier. So, how do you move from seen to paid? Give value. I mean, I'll expand a lot more on this in my course if you are interested, and you can join the waitlist. I'll put I'll put the link there so you can join the waitlist. But even if you don't buy the course, this is the one thing you can do today. Start thinking about how I can give value. How can I make people see what I carry? And the truth is, most of the time, we ourselves don't understand how much we carry until we start showing up. And so this life is amazing for me because I would never have imagined 2 years ago that this would be me. I'll be here and people on the internet will be listening to me, just advising them on building their brands. But that's how, once you start giving value, you would see that the opportunities line up. Someone would come, oh, help me do this. Or can you show me how to do this? They would literally show you the value that they have placed on you. And that will be the opportunity for you to put some money on that. I hope that helped. The other question, do we have mentorship programs on guiding young people on how to be visible online in an impactful way? If not, how do we go about that? I don't know if there are online sessions per se. I do know that there are people who every now and then are maybe training a few people here and there. I am actively posting on YouTube here. Every week I post a video on one thing or another across the 3 different shows. If you're looking to grow your personal brand, the Position show usually has content and actionable steps that you can take to do that. So definitely, definitely. Um, what else do we have? Do we have any other questions? Any others? Oh, guys, I love a talkative, comment section. Makes me happy. But let me go to a few more of the questions that I had here. I'm not a CEO. Can I really be a thought leader? Yes, yes, yes. Thought leadership is not about the position you hold or how many years of experience you have. Thought leadership is just about perspective. If you don't take anything apart from give value, take perspective equals thought leadership. That's it. Perspective. I can't stress that enough. Constantly contributing your perspective on things that are happening. Let me give you an example. So recently, the Gates Foundation put out a video in collaboration with some popular people in Nigeria about something they were doing for the African continent. And I decided to write a LinkedIn post about it because I didn't think that the video sends the right message for donor communication. Honestly, I was just sitting in my corner, to be honest. That video, that article got into non-profit spaces in the US, in Canada, in all sorts of places, simply because I was saying something that should I say, was my perspective. But it turned out that a lot of people also share that perspective. And I could have very easily said, I'm not the most senior most person when it comes to donor funding, non-profit comms, or any of those things. I just arrived. I'm just a baby girl. But all I did was share my perspective. And it broadened my network in such a crazy way. The impressions on that post were in the thousands, again, in countries I've never been to, simply because I was sharing my perspective. And when they went, for some of them, they would go through my profile just to see what else I had spoken about, and you see them commenting on other things. So thought leadership is consistently contributing your unique, valuable perspective. So what is your perspective? Is it on whether or not influencers should be paid? What's your perspective on whether content creators should follow the vendors to the wedding? As a photographer, what's your perspective on that? And what's your perspective on I need all my gear to start? What's your perspective on how much money do I need to save to be able to afford a GLE? In your area of expertise, say something. Say something, and don't just say something for saying sake. It's very easy these days to enter stuff into ChatGPT and say, what should I say about this? And so, so, and so, and so. But we spoke about authenticity at the beginning. So you know that it's always important to connect it to whatever it is that comes naturally to you, what is in your area of expertise. So build that authority by constantly talking. What's happening in your area of expertise? I told you I just spoke about the president's address because that's in my area of interest. That's in my area of that's the place I want to dominate. So I spoke about that. What is your place of domination? What's the thing you want to be seen as a leader in? What do you want people to look for your opinion on? And they would only know that you have an opinion if you are consistently showing up. What's happening in the industry? Is there something happening? Talk about that. Are there people collaborating? Talk about it. You see, thought leadership is a marathon. It takes time. It takes time, but you have to be consistent. If you are just sharing your perspective, sharing your values, lessons from your lived experiences, 10 things I wish someone had told me before I started national service. That's your lived experience. And I'm sure you're thinking, but NSS, what kind of thought leadership? There are thousands of people starting NSS every year who can benefit from your perspective on how they can improve upon their NSS experience. I'm sure you are thinking thought leadership, there has to be a news article. No, it can just be a LinkedIn post. It can just be something on your stories. It can be a TikTok reel. But the consistency of sharing your perspective on whatever it is always that game changer. I think my next question is okay, let me just go and see what's happening in the comment section. Bridget, I'm glad you found it helpful. Mr. Richards, I cannot be your mentor. You're a big man. You are my senior. Yes, we'll save the life. Um, Baba, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm proud of you too. She's my doctor in the making. I'm very proud of her. All right, okay. Yes, the consistency matter is a very big matter. Trust me, even I am lagging in consistency in certain things. I haven't been posting on my LinkedIn as much as I should. I've posted 18 videos of 25 ways. Not all of them are on LinkedIn. Not all of them are on my YouTube shorts. So I know that sometimes you will fall short, but if I didn't say it, you won't even notice because I'm showing up in other places. So in your head, you feel like Kenny is always on. But the important thing is to keep going at it, keep going at it, keep going at it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but keep going at it. Yeah. I see that someone has put my waitlist link there. Yes, so if you do want to join the waitlist, I'll be sending out the details of what the course entails towards the end of towards the beginning of October so that you have an idea what you're getting into and then you can fully commit. It'll be fun. Trust me, it'll be a really great time where we break down in like 5 different modules how to build your brand, how to create content authentically, how to handle thought leadership, when there are challenges, how to handle your reputation. We'll do a few live sessions just for that community where we can ask questions, we can give you feedback on your brand directly. It will be good. Someone says, you mentioned LinkedIn a lot. Is it a must to have that account? Do you know that one of my goals is to be like the LinkedIn prefect for Africa? But yes, let me explain. LinkedIn is, let me just start from the basics. It is one of the best websites for searchability and for top of mind awareness. So anytime you Google yourself, if you have a LinkedIn account, most likely it's either the first or the second link that shows up, because the algorithm naturally prioritizes LinkedIn. So that should tell you that if you have content on LinkedIn, it is pushed just as much as you would expect a TikTok to be pushed on the algorithm, except Google prioritizes that kind of content. Now, AI also uses that kind of content for searchability, SEO, and things like that. So if you type in, I want five of the top finance gurus in Ghana, AI is going to go through LinkedIn to see who the visible financial gurus in Ghana are based on their footprints, not because they are actually the top five, but because they are the most visible on LinkedIn. AI will recommend that those answers to you. So if you Google me, yes, I have a website, yes, I have YouTube, yes, I have this, I have that. But LinkedIn will be one of the first things you see. And if you scroll down, you see if I have an article, they'll spotlight it. If I have a video that I've posted there, they'll push it. LinkedIn just gives you that extra push. The second thing is, LinkedIn is one of the places that most people handle the accounts themselves. So presidents, CEOs, chief HR directors, most of the time, they handle their own LinkedIn accounts because that's a direct representation of their own careers. So that gives you direct access to people that you ordinarily would never speak to. So you see, oh, I'm actually talking to the president of a certain country, or the CEO of a global corporation, or the, what's it called, Bill Gates, because they're all there. They are actually all there. And that gives you direct access. There's no PA to go through. You just put it in their DM or tag them in the comments, react to their posts. They see it, they pay attention. Just 2 days ago, LinkedIn hosted a closed event for people who create content on LinkedIn, and they invited a CEO in North America to come and talk us through some of his content and how he's doing things. That's direct contact I will only have because of LinkedIn. I don't know where he's going to see me to come and talk to me about my perspectives on life. But LinkedIn has this way of bridging that gap in a way that's just, it's just amazing. So yes, I'm very big on LinkedIn. Most people think I have to have a 9 to 5 to be on LinkedIn. No, you don't. You absolutely don't. I'm always talking about Kofi Kinata. Kofi Kinata is a Ghanaian musician. He is one of the people that I admire for how he utilizes LinkedIn. Everything that he has to say, he puts it on LinkedIn as well. And his content is so curated that he gets things like influencer gigs. He's a UN ambassador because of his presence online and on LinkedIn. It's not because of the music, but it's because he's a thought leader and his online presence is palatable enough that the UN wants to attach themselves to him. So by all means, even if you're a painter, if you are whatever you are, there's room for you on LinkedIn. Because like I keep saying, even if you're a travel blogger, there are people who travel on LinkedIn. And the chances are that the content is not as saturated on LinkedIn as it is on TikTok. On TikTok, you are battling with 10 other travel bloggers, one person who's dancing, another person who has is it DJ Osmo? Am I saying it right? DJI Osmo, something whose content is clearer, something is sharper. But on LinkedIn, things are just picking up in terms of content. So if you get there and you start prioritizing your presence there, before you know it, you will have a certain weight to your name. I've walked into meetings with all sorts of people, and one of the first things they say is, I've seen you on LinkedIn. And I'm talking big people that I have never spoken to in this world. They have never liked anything I've written for me to even know that I'm in their circles. But like I said, they pay attention because LinkedIn has this thing where they'll tell you, can you like this comment and like this post? And they'll show you the post. So even the people in your circles can be introducing your contents to other people. I mean, Instagram is trying to do that thing where they tell you this person reposted this thing that you like, but we all don't like it. LinkedIn does it better. They do it in a very neat way. So my long story is, by all means, get on LinkedIn. By all means, it doesn't matter what you're doing and which area you are in. There's room for you to grow on LinkedIn. There's room for you to be visible on LinkedIn. So yeah, Team LinkedIn. If you are on LinkedIn, find me, Kenny Ribeiro wherever you are, but also on LinkedIn. Shameless plug. Okay, I think I have two more questions. Well, we've done exactly an hour. Um, we've done 1 hour. Okay. All right. Um, so the last question is, how do I handle negative comments without ruining my reputation? Let me start with the reputation story. Reputation is what people say about you when you're not in the room with them. Their impressions of you. And I know that we hear that and we think, oh goodness, then my reputation must be terrible in the eyes of certain people who don't have good things to say about me. But they are not the only ones who shape those things. Your reputation is shaped by your actions and how you respond to challenges. So they can say one thing, they can say, this girl is lazy, she's good for nothing, forget about her, she does not respect anybody. But if your actions point to another outcome and your responses to certain situations also points to another outcome, that actually becomes the reputation. So in a negative situation, pause. Don't react emotionally. I always say this on Twitter that too many people are just trigger happy, insulting. How dare you? No, no. Because you see, when you insult someone and it goes viral and people are saving it and retweeting it, and you're thinking, yes, I have shown him. When I Google your name, your most engaged tweets are what come up. So if I Google you and you've gone to insult some politician and the people in the opposing party have retweeted it for it to come onto the top of your timeline, when I Google your account and they show me your Twitter, they will not show me your name and your profile and that's it. They will pull up your most engaged tweets to give me an idea of the kind of person you are. So your digital footprint is important. So you cannot be insulting people online. I keep saying that the one thing I use to measure it is if I take a screenshot of what I have said and they put it against my name, that nice picture of me that I really like on Instagram, they put my picture against that tweet and they put it on a billboard, will I be embarrassed in any way? If I will, then I have no business saying that thing, no matter how justified I am. Because one, you never know who's watching. Two, that may be the first and only impression that people who could be opportunity givers, destiny helpers, or possible collaborators or employers would leave with you in mind. You can disagree respectfully, but insulting, trying to use your emotions and all of that, it's not a good look. In the long run, it doesn't help you. But if there's a crisis, acknowledge the crisis. Yes, it happened. Get clear on what has happened, and if there's anything to correct, correct it. If there's anything to improve upon it. I think that I have a video up on YouTube that talks about how to handle a crisis. So you can check that out. That would be under Reputation Radar, I believe. So if you look through the Reputation Radar playlist, you'd see a video that talks about that. Um, I've spoken about consistency like 10 billion times, but I'll say it one more time. That's your best friend. People will trust what they can predict. You know that the person will show up a certain way. The person does things a certain way. So you can vouch for the person because the person is doing that. If you are not doing that, if you are one day you are this, the next day you are that, one day you're insulting people, the next day you are trying to pull the more high ground card, the next day you are being emotional, it's not giving consistency. So please try and be consistent as possible. If you have already insulted people, you have already messed up your name on the internet. It is possible to repair your image by demonstrated growth again over time. Everything here is built with time, with consistency. So maybe I've already insulted people. You can retract the insults, take it down. And the next time someone provokes you, you don't insult. You just go about it as graciously as possible. How do I handle the negative comments? Assess it. Is what they are saying true? Is there anything you can take away from it? Is this valuable feedback? Is this people just trolling? When I talk about politics, I have a lot of people coming to me to say a lot of things. And I always assess it as, is what they are saying true? Should I dignify this with a response? And most of the time, the answer is no. So I say nothing. Because it's my engaging is that will make it a thing. That if I ignore it, it just goes, especially if it's not true. And I am showing up enough that the the impression that people will have of me is not solely based of that person's tweets or that person's insult. Yeah. I think I'm done with the questions I have. Um your personality is really beautiful. Oh guys. Oh, kidding. How often will you hold these live sessions? It was supposed to be once a quarter, oh, but life happened. So we'll do another one before the end of the year, hopefully. If the people the people in my life will mind me. If they will mind me, we'll do another one before the end of the year. Um the internet never forgets. True. Even if you delete it, there are screenshots. Will this be saved? Yes, it will be saved almost immediately after this. So you'll be able to watch it and get a full sense of what we're speaking about. I have enjoyed the conversation and I have been speaking for 1 hour, 6 minutes. So I will again check the comment section to see if there are any other questions. If not, uh, okay, so I have one more here. Oh, okay. I'm gonna ask a question. I'm sorry, what's the question? Oh, what do you do if you have varied ideas? Is it okay for people to see you for two or three things? Yes, this was episode 8, I think, of 25 ways. You can wear different hats, as many hats as you want to wear, just so long as they sit on the same head. So the constant is you, Amu Malto. And from what I've seen online, you are a writer. You also you act, I believe. You also create content. I think you're also a businessman. I may be mistaken, but those are the 4 things I've seen about you on the internet. You can add on 10 other things if you want. You can become a pastor, you can start singing. So long as all of it points to the same Amu Malto. We don't want to think of 10 different human beings. We want to think of you, the person who does one, two, three, and four. So I sing. I haven't sung in a while, but I sing. I talk about Jesus. I do brand building content. I talk about politics and governance. I talk about being a mom. I talk about different things. But the main constant is Maukeni Ribeiro. So that's how I'd say you should approach it. By all means, keep you as the constant and then allow people to experience the different parts of you as you are willing to. Then yes, I'm all of those. I'm LinkedIn prefect, headshot prefect, brand prefect. I was a prefect wherever I was, so it comes naturally. I was a prefect in primary school. I was a prefect in GSS. I was a prefect in SHS. But by university, I was tired, so I didn't do anything leadership. So the prefect thing is in me. Maybe that's why. That's why. Yes, most prefects. Um, what do you do if you have varied ideas? Oh, I think I've answered that. Yes. So do all the things as much as you can, and the people will stay, because the truth is they may have come because you create content, but then they discover, oh, you also sell this. That's cool. I can work with that. Then they discover, oh, he's in place. Again, then it increases the touch points at which they can interact with you. So by all means, keep showing up as yourself, keep showing all the different parts of you, and it will definitely pay off in building your brand. I think I'll just check the community one more time to see if there are any questions there. Networking and mentorship are two important aspects of a person's career, but people seem to struggle with these. Do you have any tips? Yes, I do. I have two tips. One, think about how you can give value. If you go to someone to mentor you, the truth is 10 billion people are probably saying, please mentor me. Oh, I'd like you to be my mentor. But if, for instance, you said, oh, I've noticed that you do videos, and would you like me to edit the videos for you? I can work on this and that and that. That gives you an in with a mentor who is probably used to hearing, I want to take from you, but you are willing to give. Always give value. Or it's even a, oh, I noticed that you're doing this thing. I find that interesting because I have this background and I've done this, and I thought this perspective is interesting. Again, value, feedback for them, or some sort of help, or some sort of question. Perhaps if you ask the question that came from, I've observed the content you've put out, I have a question based on that content. The person is more likely to take you seriously than someone who goes into their DM and just says hi and then hopes that they will respond and then we can start a conversation. So, one, give value. Two, always read the room. That's my thing. When you are asking for mentorship or you are networking, read the room. Because if I come to you and I want to talk to you, have a conversation with you, and you just had a flat tire and you are pressed for time, chances are that you will not hear my beautifully crafted elevator pitch that I came to say that will make you feel like, oh my gosh, she has so much value to give. Chances are that you won't hear it. At best, you would probably indulge me for me to go away. But if you read the room and see that it's not a good time, and perhaps later send them a DM and say, I hope you're able to sort out your car. I saw you, but it was a bad time, so I couldn't say hi. Perhaps we could meet another day if the opportunity presents itself. That makes you more memorable in the person's head, whether it's in connecting with them or it's in asking them for support. So those are my two things. Um, give value and read the room at all times. Yeah. Any other questions? Oh, this has been fun. Or listen to me yapping for 72 minutes. Any other questions? Any other questions? All right. This has been a really thought provoking session. I am so glad. Thank you so much for your feedback. I have enjoyed it myself. I'm looking forward to as many of you continuing to find value with the content I put out, whether on here, on LinkedIn, TikTok, wherever you are. I'm there, except Snapchat. As for that place, I'm not there. But I'm everywhere else. And if you will like to have a clarity call where you want us to talk about your brand, the links are in all my bios. If you want to learn on the job, there's content on YouTube, and the course Be Seen, Heard, and Paid will come out in October. So this has been fun. Please flood the comment section with your buys so that I can see you, especially those who haven't said anything the whole time. You've just been watching quietly. Please say bye bye so I can see you are here. Thank you for spending time with me. I have enjoyed this. And yes, we will do another one before the end of the year. This is a good time to remind you to start putting together your dumps for quarter three because quarter three is ending. Um, and hopefully, we will get to the point where I no longer have to say this every month. I'll just see people posting and tagging me because, yeah. Oh, my mommy is watching. Mommy, hi. I'm so dramatic. I didn't give you shout outs. I didn't know you were here, guys. Okay, let me give shout outs to the people I can see. Shout outs to Najele, shout outs to Frida, shout outs to Ruben, to Young King Dasha, to Baby Core, to Martins King, to Perry, to everybody. Wow, guys. It's giving love at home. I love it. I love it. This has been fantastic. Thank you all for indulging me. Reagan has solved the problem. Shout out to everybody who logged on. Thank you. And I will definitely see you again. Take care. And please keep working at building that brand. Keep working at giving value, and it will pay off. You get to the point where you're paid for the content and for the value that you give. I'm so glad, guys. Thank you. I'm glad you found it useful. I'm really glad you did. Bye. Bye.